The first time I ever stepped foot inside of a courtroom, I was surprised at how small it looked. It didn't look anything like TV. I was so embarrassed standing there having to talk to the judge. It was to get a TPO, a temporary protective order. This piece of paper was supposed to protect me from him stalking me, coming up to my job, or harassing me anymore. I just didn't understand how this piece of paper was supposed to keep me safe. I am a survivor. The whole process of getting a temporary protective order was scary. Mine was a little different than I think a lot of people's, because my protective order was a criminal one, which was a little bit more, I guess, serious in stature than one through family court. The one that I was issued was good for 5 years, and in it said that he couldn't come anywhere near my home, my job, my family, my friends. He couldn't contact any of my family, friends, or my job, or try to contact me in any way. He couldn't have any of his friends try to contact me or call me in any way. I mean, when you read the language in this order, you will be like, really? Do you really have to spell out, just leave this woman alone or leave this person alone? And yes, like with him, he had issues with boundaries and understanding how to, that no means no. That if they say stay away, that means stay away. For him, it was always like, well, you said I could stay away, but you didn't say my cousin, sister, brother, cousin couldn't contact her mother, sister, brother and find out where she is, so it don't say that in that language, so I guess I could do that. It was just like, whatever loophole he could try to get around, he was going to get around. And if he couldn't get around it, then he was going to just do whatever he wanted anyway. I didn't feel safe. They said, you keep it in your pocket. You make sure you have a copy of it at home. If you need to scan it and have it in your email, things like that, so that we know you have this. What it did do is that it served as a documentation. It served as a documentation that legally he was supposed to stay away from me and leave me alone. So anytime he did violate that, I could file an incident report, and it could be a track record kept that he was violating these orders, and that he could get arrested on the basis that he was violating these orders. And again, let's be honest, that means that they would have to fine him to arrest him, because it's not like if somebody's doing something illegal. For the most part, they don't walk up to the courtroom, or they don't walk into the police station and go, hey, yeah, y'all probably looking for me. So it wasn't a situation like that. It was like he was going to do what he wanted. He wasn't going with to meet with his parole officer. He was violating a lot of different things. And, quite honestly, I don't think he really cared much. So for me, I knew that this wasn't really going to keep me safe from him not maintaining those boundaries. That this was for me to keep things documented. God forbid if something happened, there was a paper trail, so make it easier to pin these offenses and things on him, and to show that there was a history of abuse. So that's what it did. But, I remember when I used to watch TV and people say, oh, yeah, I got an order protection or whatever. In my mind, I thought it really protected someone. I didn't realize that in a lot of cases, it makes the batterer more upset. In my case, it was just like, so you went and you got those people on me? You went and told the white people about me and stuff like that? Like, really? You trying to, it was just like it upped the anger that much more, because for him, he took it personally. He took it as if I betrayed him. I betrayed his trust. No matter what go on in our relationship, that's our relationship. All relationships have downfalls. All relationships has up and down. Everybody in relationships have good times and bad times. This is how he tried to justify it. But he didn't realize that he had crossed the line of just a good time and a bad time. This was abuse that we was dealing with. Most relationships, your boyfriend don't threaten to stab you in the stomach with a screwdriver. Or standing on top of you, or trying to strangle the life out of you, or threaten, that's not normal stuff. But it might have been normal for him, for the relationships he had been in. It might have been normal for him for what he witnessed in his household growing up. This might have been a norm from what he was used to seeing in his different area or circles in his life. So I don't know, in his mind, if he really thought that this was normal, or this was something he was trying to convince himself was normal, or try to convince me. And even though I grew up in a situation that necessarily wasn't ideal, I knew when it got to a certain level that this was completely wrong. It felt wrong. It was scary. I was trapped in so many ways, and I didn't know what to do. And I was told that this T.P.O was the way to go. And a lot of times, you know, when I would call officers, that's one of the first things they would ask is, well, do you have a T.P.O? Let me see it. You know, and if you do, it seemed like they would take the situation a little bit more as a critical type of situation, or this is more serious than in situations when you don't have one. Because then they would say, well, you know, you need to go ahead and get a protective order, or call down to the court and you can get this incident report and use that to help you file it. With that being said, if a woman came to me and she was having issues, I would state that they need to go ahead and file a T.P.O just so they can have something on record. I would say that is important to do that. And I would contact a domestic violence hotline, try to get an advocate, talk with a group that can walk you through the steps and the process of doing it in a way that would keep you safe. Because what you don't want to do is anger this person to the point where now they are trying to attack you or trying to kill you. You want to do whatever is going to make you the safest. Okay, so I would say talk to someone that is a professional about your situation, and talk to them in an area, in a realm where you are safe. Don't have any paper trails. You can't have it on your computer where he could go and check your history and see you was looking this up. You can't call from your phone if he's going through your phone and he know your numbers, or calling a phone company to track what numbers you call. You're going to have to find a way to do it that's safe from somebody else's phone, from the library at the computer, when you at work, someplace where this person, and I say him a lot of times, but in a place where you can be safe. That's what I would suggest. But once you file that order, please know that it can escalate. Okay, and this is why you need to talk to a professional. It can escalate, but you will have something documented. God forbid if something happens, it is on paper. And you know, I'm with you. I understand what you're going through. I understand the fear that you feel about somebody trying to attack you and threatening your life, and then the fear about standing up for yourself and knowing that this is going to just cause more anger. The fear of having to stand in front of a judge and have people looking at you and telling them what's going on. There's a lot of fear in that. And, you know, you just have to maintain and be strong. Like, domestic violence survivors are strong. Just continue to be strong and just be strong. I mean, I don't know what other advice to give than just that. I really don't. I wish I had more answers, and unfortunately I don't. But I do hope that I have helped in some sort of way. So thank you.